Good morning, friends and distinguished guests. My name is Amne and I am the newly elected president of the Aquinas Honor Society of the Immaculate Conception School. Standing with me is the newly elected vice president, Leah Lewis. I would like to welcome representatives from St. John's University and our principal, Miss Breen, teachers and students from the Immaculate Conception School of Jamaica Estates.
I would also like to welcome my fellow members of the Aquinas Honor Society.
We welcome you all here today to this wonderful ceremony that unlocks a bit of our past history and remember long forgotten pieces of information. Last year, the Aquinas students published their book on Jamaica Estates through Arcadia Publishing, and during the intense research, made new and wonderful discoveries.
The students uncovered the location of a glacial lake called Rudder's Pond that once stood at this very intersection of Utopia Parkway and the Grand Central Parkway.
The pond was created by glaciers from the Great Ice Age 18,000 years ago, the same glacier that created a land bridge allowing humans to populate the Americas. It helped form the topography of this land, forming the hills that we stand on, and referred to as the backbone of Long Island or the terminal moraine. Rudder's Pond stood here for 18,000 years and provided for the people of Jamaica a recreational site. The surrounding wooded forest and lake provided a retreat where they came for hiking, hunting, horseback riding, picnicking, swimming, rowing, and ice skating. But as the island opened up and towns developed, roads were constructed. In 1931, the construction of the Grand Central Parkway, Rudder's Pond was drained, filled in, and covered over by the parkway.
In 1907, the town of Jamaica Estates was established and a 100-acre golf course was created next to the glacial lake. It was eventually called the Hillcrest Golf Course and founded 103 years ago. It served the public for many years until sold to the Vincentian fathers who built St. John's University that you see behind us.
The Aquinas students had collected so much information about our community, and it was our desire to share this information with the public and therefore the reason for writing our book. But we wanted to show the public what once was so we campaigned to have a plaque placed here to mark the location of the glacial pond and the golf course. The wording of the plaque was done by the Aquinas students, and they raised the funds to pay for it. With the help of St. John's University, whom we thank profoundly, a site was selected. It was decided to place the plaque on a glacial boulder that was deposited here by the same glacial that created the Rudder's Pond.
The plaque reads as follows: "You are standing where a 3-acre glacial pond once stood. It was created by a mile-high glacier during the last great ice age 18,000 years ago. The glacier left huge boulders that it carried and deposited, thus creating the terminal moraine, the backbone of Long Island. In 1907, a 100-acre golf course was built near the pond for Jamaica Estates and is now the home of St. John's University. Once called Rudder's Pond in 1931, the construction of the Grand Central caused the pond to be drained and covered over by much of the parkway, erected by the Aquinas Honor Society, Immaculate Conception School, and St. John's University."
The Aquinas Society grows in number every year, and this year we have 40 students and are divided into junior and senior Aquinas groups. We have asked one member of the society to speak, Amrit Singh Bhatti. It was because of a 1908 New York Times article that he uncovered that started this entire quest about the glacial pond. It is sadly connected with a sad event that we would also like to commemorate.
My name is Amne Singh Bhatti, and last year I uncovered a newspaper article from January 1908. It mentioned two young brothers who had recently received a pair of ice skates for Christmas. On a clear, cold winter day, they came to a pond near their home called Rudder's Pond. It was described as being in this location and almost 3 acres large. It was frozen over by a sheet of ice. The brothers began skating, and they skated to the center, heard crackling sounds beneath their feet. Before they could skate away safely, the ice broke up and they fell through into the dark frigid waters, which was 20 feet deep. They called for help, and passing stranger, a young 25-year-old clerk, ran to the edge of the pond. He tore off his jacket and dove in. Another young boy, seeing what happened, ran to the nearby house and secured a ladder. When he came back to the pond, he was greeted only by silence. The 3 had drowned and were lost. Rescuers came to found them one by one. We placed these flowers by marker to remember those young souls who were lost so many years ago and now called out their names. Francis Detcher, age 19, his brother William, age 16, and Joseph, PRC.
We'll do that later.
Thank you very much. And how about a round of applause for our young students who brought this all together and tell the story so well. Every time we all go through that overpass on the parkway, you'll always be able to remember that some 100 years ago there was a pond there, and those 3 young people, a gentleman tried to save the lives of those 2 young boys, so we'll memorialize them in a minute. At this point, I would ask if they would come up front. Brian Brown, our Assistant Vice President and Director